Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and for this video, what we're going to get into is the new raid that's coming, and what we're going to talk about is the rewards, and the change to the reward structure. There's a rumor going around that the Mark III raid tokens, which are the main reward for the Krayt Dragon raid, right? That's these things right up here. That's how you get your impulse detectors, arrow magnifiers, Gerda keypads, all that fun stuff, right? That's this reward up in here. Right, this would be switching from the Krayt Dragon raid to this new speeder bike raid with GL space buns, right? Galactic Legend space buns. Leia, if you've missed that, you've been living under a rock. So we're going to talk about that and why I think it's actually okay that that would change, right? But before we do that, let's first and foremost thank my channel members so much for their continued support of this channel, especially as things have just been really hit or miss lately. Again, guys, I really appreciate your continued support. Please be on the lookout for some more live streams coming up. You guys get the priority on the roster reviews, modding questions, things like that. This is all, you guys get the priority there for, contributing to this channel. If you guys, are interested in supporting this channel, link down below. Otherwise, smash that subscribe button, leave your likes and leave your comments. That is free and it really helps this channel continue to grow. Let's get into this video and let's talk about this raid. So, to understand why I don't think it's a big deal if they move Mark III raid tokens from the Krayt raid to this new speeder bike raid, right? If that's the change, let me explain why. And to do that, you first need to understand all of the changes that have come about with raids and other game modes in the game. So the first thing, right, so I have my legacy raids here. Each legacy raid released new gear levels or gear and a character, right? Between Han for the, pit raid, you had Kenobi for the tank raid, and then when Traya was released for this heroic Sith raid, the gear they added, they didn't add a new gear level, but the right side of gear 13, right, that right side, those pieces outside of the finisher were released with the heroic Sith raid. So right there, those three all each revolutionized the game, right? They added something new, they completely changed the landscape. Then, obviously, we had our king, right? Because our king brought us into Hoth territory battles, right? They released Wampa, they released Hermit Yoda, and then we got Rolo and Imperial probe droids, Stark, and Captain Han. And they completely changed the game yet again and introduced Get One, new gear levels, all of that stuff, right? New gear, characters, all of those things because of Hoth territory battles. And again, shortly after that, Territory Wars did the same thing. Then you got Geonosis TB, right? Again, new characters to the game, Guild Event Currency 2, new ships, like completely, again, adding a new game mode, got us a ton of new content, completely, again, changed the landscape, changed the direction of this game. Let's keep going. The pit raid, we didn't get any new characters, but we got Relic 8, as well as additional rewards that otherwise you weren't able to get in raids. And that is an important thing to remember, that this Relic, Relic 8 is what was released with the pit raid. Still a huge, huge change to this game. And when it was first released, you have to remember that this is before characters like Kenobi and Lord Vader were in the game, so there's no reason to use those Relic 8s except on, characters that you got benefit from, and then eventually things started becoming requirements and you needed them. Then Rise of the Empire, we got Guild Event Currency 3, we got Reva, we got other characters, right? All of these things changing with Rise of the Empire, changed the landscape of this game yet again. Then you got the Krayt raid. We didn't get any new gear. All that changed with raids was the reward structure, which was huge, that they allowed you to now get relic materials that you couldn't get before, right? Allowed you to pick your rewards, gave you a lot more freedom, and it's really been a great change. This has been one of the best changes they've ever done. I don't know if you guys can hear my cats hissing at each other right there. Always have to interrupt the video. So you got the Krayt raid here. And this was the first time I felt that Capital Games did something where it didn't change the landscape in terms of guilds needing to rearrange tomorrow. Because everybody had already done that for Rise of the Empire. The Krayt raid came around and everybody was like, all right, well, I think we're going to be okay, right? We're going to get our, rewards and we're going to move on. So they added that, Mark III raid currency, which gets you, the stuff that you used to get out of the pit raid, plus other things, So then you've got this new speeder bike raid that's coming for Leia, and the rumor is that those Mark III raid tokens are going to be moving, and everyone's kind of up in arms and really upset about it, and I want to explain why I'm not. So imagine with the GL Space Bun raid, right, that's what we're going to call it, that Relic 10 was announced, and that there's a Tier 4 raid currency, which is how you can get Relic 10 materials and maybe droid brains and, I don't know, signal data or something. People would be up in arms and furious, me being one of them. Because you've now, again, change this landscape of the game, that it's not just that you need this character to maintain the level of rewards, but like these rewards are significantly better than the crate raid, right? That it's even more important now. So I don't think that's the case. And honestly, all they're doing is they're saying, hey, you know what? You need to build some new teams to keep up with the same rewards. And this breaks the mold with raids in the past, right? This breaks everything, where if all they do is they're like, the rewards are going to stay the same, it's just new teams that are required to get those rewards, that would completely break their mold in the way that they've always looked at raids and territory battles. Because every other time that something new has come to the game, it's brought with it new rewards. So you think if this raid does come out and there's Relic 10 and Tier 4 raid currency, my hope would be that the Crate Dragon raid keeps those Mark III raid tokens. But if they move the Mark III away from the Crate raid and move it to the Speeder Bike raid, but they don't change anything else, I don't have a problem investing in new teams. Because all they're doing is following this trend that they've done in other game modes, like Grand Arena. In Grand Arena, you guys remember when they took crystals out of Squad Arena and moved them to Grand Arena, they were very clear that the reason they did this is because they did not like, they said all the arena shard stuff, but the real answer, the real reason, was that you could get a Sith Eternal plus Watt, or you could go rush Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, right, get 2 very easy Galactic Legends, shoot to the top, 10, top spot of your Squad Arena, get a huge, massive crystal payout right away. And that was the truth. Like, I was getting first place every single day, back, way back in the day, with Sith Eternal and Watt Tambor, against accounts with far superior characters and investment than me. But because Watt and Sith Eternal was such a potent combo back in the day, I could get it done, right? So they switched that and they said, no, we don't want you to just have one thing that's going to shoot you to the top. We want you to have volume to your roster, right? We want there to be substance there, that there's more just behind it than a Galactic Legend that gets you first place. And so, with this crate raid, they did that. They're like, okay, you need Jabba, right? You need the latest and greatest thing. But then you need, Hut Cartel on top of that. You need Tuskens and Jawas and Mandalorians. And now, right, with this new Leia raid, GL Space Buns, you're going to need, GL Space Buns herself. You're going to need the Murder Bears. It looks like some Rebels, Jedi Knight Luke, Endor kind of characters, Imperial Troopers. So I'm really excited I'm going to say if, because we don't know anything. It's rumor mill, and I don't know, maybe I missed it. I've been kind of, on and off with the Galaxy of Heroes news lately, but I really don't think we have any reason to freak out if all they do is move Mark III raid tokens, because that is a far superior option than trying to release Relic 10, which I don't think this game is anywhere prepared for. Because if they do that, they release this new raid and they put these brand new rewards out there that are significantly better than the Crate Dragon raid rewards, you're only going to continually increase that gap between the best players and the worst players, right? That between the top and the bottom, there's already a gap. And I truly believe that that gap has been narrowing, because the Crate Dragon raid, those rewards are not different from, yes, they're getting more stuff, but they need more stuff than you do, right? Like, an account that is 12 million galactic power needs a lot more resources to do a single thing than you do to get, like they're going for Relic 7 to Relic 9, you're going from Relic 0, you're going from Gear 1 to Relic 3, like, you've made a far more significant jump, right? Like, I hope everybody comprehends that you need to think logically that way. That, yes, a Relic 8 to Relic 9 is a great thing, but that is not as significant of a change as it is to go from Gear 1 Level 1 to Relic 3, Relic 4, Relic 5, right? That is a much more significant change to your roster compared to just changing a Relic level. So, if they, that gap has been shrinking, and if they release this Relic 10, or they did a, new raid currency with stuff that's significantly better rewards, I think you're going to make that gap just explode overnight, because those players who are prepared, those guilds who are prepared, are going to get these rewards, and everybody else is just going to kind of sit there like, we can't do any of this. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with them. In fact, I would welcome them to move Mark III raid tokens. I think that is a much better option. I think that's going to continually force players to be smarter about how you invest in characters, right? And honestly, the requirements for this one are not that bad. You should have so many of these things, right? Like, you think Jedi Knight Luke is one of the requirements here, right? Who you need Han Solo for, who's another one. Chewbacca, okay, well, if you went and got Jabba, you're going to get Chewbacca. You've got Admiral Piet in there, who you need for Executor. You've got these Imperial Troopers, which are like the first team that you should be building, you know, according to like every farming guide now. Ewoks are needed for C-3PO, who, guess what? You need C-3PO in this raid, and you need him to get Jedi Knight Luke. So there's so much crossing here that I really don't have a problem with this, right? I really don't have a problem with the change. I think that it actually is much better than all the rest of these where, like, I don't think this new raid is going to split guilds apart because there's nothing new to it. There's no new level to get. There's no new, you know, this or that. It's just we're taking these rewards that we're already getting and we're moving them to something else. And then again, this is all rumor-based, right? This is all rumor. We don't know. Maybe they are going to release Relic 10. I don't think so. I think the rumor I heard is they're taking Mark III away from the Crate Raid, which is great if they do that. You work towards the Crate Raid? Okay, hey, something changed. Time to move on to that next thing. It doesn't mean that Jabba isn't worth investing in. It doesn't mean that Maul Mandalorians aren't worth investing in. It just means that they're going to flow into another part of your account, right? That they're a team that maybe you're not going to take beyond certain relic levels because you're not going to get any more benefit out of them at that specific time. Remember, one of the big things I tell everybody, don't just throw relics on a character. Ask yourself, what can you actually get out of that character with those additional relic levels? So, I don't know. Maybe I've been ranting a little bit, but that's kind of my opinion, guys. You know, I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't have a problem with them changing, you know, if they move these Mark III raid tokens, because again, this is what they did when they, you know, changed, you know, Grand Arena, and that was for the better, right? That was a much better change than what it was before, and I think this is the same thing. Like, this is significantly better than all of these things in here where guilds split apart and broke up because there's new rewards that people are missing out on if they're not in that highest level, right? Whereas if all you're doing is saying, hey, you know what, you need to use different characters to earn those rewards, I don't think people are going to blow up over it. So, I don't know, guys. I would get excited because I think that they're, you know, if the rumor is true, I think that it's a lot better than Relic 10 and a new raid currency. Because otherwise, this will break guilds apart. This will rip guilds apart. Players, you know, it will be devastating if they did this. But they do this, I think it's going to be pretty even, right? I'm sure there'll be some guilds that break up, you know, here and there, but, like, it won't be anything like it is if this was the case. So, again, that's the video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. As always, smash that subscribe button, leave your likes, and leave your comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you. Cheers.